could see people jamming out in the background who are watching. So the guests, the other folks. Anyway, welcome everybody to the Adept Icarus YouTube channel. We're here today. We're going to make a world together. It's going to be super fun. We will use Arium Create to do that, which is a game created by Adept Icarus. You can find it on all the places where you buy RPGs, like Drive-Thru RPG and the Adept Icarus website. Where else would you possibly buy an RPG? Anyway, I have some people here with us today. I'm going to start bringing them on and we'll let them introduce themselves. But really quickly, I'm Will. I'm the Adept Icarus person, the founder of the company, and we make games like Arium. But also today, we're doing a little bit of realm building using that game to make another game. It's like game inception around here, so should be fun. I will start by bringing in the person that if you've watched before, you've probably seen on one of these streams. Earhart, welcome. You're back.
That's me. I'm back. It's been so long.
It's been a minute. Yeah. You want to tell everybody about you?
Yeah, I can do that a little bit. My name
Just
is
a short bit.
I make content online regarding TTRPGs, whether that's actual plays or making actual games like Vi. That's my heart, my soul, my life.
Awesome. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Well, we have been working on this game, Vi, for like over a year. Like almost a year and a half, maybe. It's
Almost.
getting close. Yeah, I've been working on it for quite a while, and it is. I don't know. I feel good about it every time we work on it. So I think this is going to be a really cool game, and I'm excited for people to see more of it. You want to tell them about, like, we had a recent sort of milestone that we reached with the game. Yeah. You want to share?
Yeah, we finished like the first iteration of the manuscript, like from end to end. Like we basically have it ready to hand to playtesters and be like, does this make sense? Can you? Does it? What's the rough parts? So I am just absolutely ecstatic at this point.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a great spot to get to. So we're excited about that. We're also still filling out the realms because there are 22. Does that make 22? 22. There we go. I don't know. Dimensional realms. So each of these are like a different place where characters that you play can be from, but they are also places where you can have adventures. And so it's pretty fun that way. Well, without any further ado, I want to introduce our special artist illustrator guest who is creating the card for the sun, the art for the card. It's going to be so cool. I've been watching their art posts on Instagram and TikTok and all over the place for a while now, and I'm just very excited to introduce Isabella Duffles. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, thanks so much for coming on. You want to tell everybody a little bit about you?
So my name is Isabella, and almost everyone calls me Puffy. I am a Brazilian digital artist who loves fantasy art and RPG. And thank you for letting me create the sun card. This will be very fun.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. We're really excited. Thanks for joining. And let's see, we have one more guest today that we're going to add as well. And this is someone that actually both Em and I have known for a long time. Good friend, a poet, probably a warrior poet. No, a poet, an author, and an all-around good guy, Richie Franklin. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. What a joy to be here with you all, and I'm thrilled to be here. My name's Richie Franklin. I guess the big thing that makes me known is that I know Will and Em from a long time ago. But no, I am an author. I have published poetry and novels. I also have worked as an actor for many years, including improv acting and other types of acting. That's what I got my degree at college, and so absolutely love doing that. So of course, why not be on camera for a little while with some great people? So thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I still think that fiasco game that we played in one of the conference rooms at Health Equity is one of my favorite role-playing game experiences ever, Richie. That was just really, really fun.
Great times. Fiasco is so fun. I should point out, I said novels and poets. I also have written for tabletop RPGs, including for Gallant Knight Games, and you can see my name every now and then in Arium products. But yeah, that Fiasco game is memorable, as many fiascos tend to be.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Well, cool. All right. So we're going to do this. We are going to create a world together. So maybe we should pull up the, let's pull up the mirror board and have a look at what we're dealing with here today. Should we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is our giant and glorious Miro board where we've been putting together all of these realms as we create them. You can see down here in the corner in this tiny little space, we've got a spot for the sun. And this is where we will go through the steps of Arium Create to build this world together. And then we'll build it sort of loosely this way. And then later on, Em and I will come back and we will apply the rules of Vi to the world that we created and build it out in a way so that people can make characters from here so that they can have adventures here and all of that. So we're excited, and this is something that we've been doing a lot of shared creation with other creative people, and that has been really fun. So let's dig in. So the first thing that we usually do as part of creating an Arium is we define what we call our lacuni. Lacuni is basically all the things that are not in this world. So we'll start out with a couple because we intend to publish a role-playing game from this, and so we will exclude other people's intellectual property. That includes your own intellectual property, should you have some that you would not want to become released with what we're doing here on in Vi. So, and then we also want to just sort of avoid the general ideas of hate and things like that. So that's a pretty general one that we usually like to include as well. Other than that, we can use this to avoid things that we think are important to us that we want to avoid. And generally, we're not going to get too deep into like R-rated territory or anything like that, I don't think. But so you don't need to like mention all of those things most likely very specifically. But we will also use this as a tool for creativity. And so when we sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. So when we sometimes select things and say, hey, let's set up a little bit of a creative constraint that will allow us to make something more interesting in the long run. So we might say, hey, maybe there is no lightning in this location for some reason. And because there's no lightning, what would that mean? What would that make interesting about this world going forward? So I'll start with just a few minutes for us to put some ideas down. But would anybody like to add another example? Or Em, maybe would you like to add another example of a good lacuni?
Yeah, absolutely. So another good example is just like stuff that like makes things interesting. Like one time I said people can't have 2 arms. And then we had like people with 6 arms or people with 1 arm and just make things like just twist the narrative a little bit to make it just like slightly more interesting, you get a lot
Yeah.
of creativity out of it.
Yeah.
I want to
so what I'd
say,
like-
oh, sorry,
go ahead,
Will.
Richie.
I want to say that it was Brandon Sanderson that said it's not what magic can do that is interesting, it's what it can't do. And it's
Mhm.
out of the limitations that you really get that, like, things that make something really, really fascinating. Like, how do you work around not having lightning in your world, or it never rains, right? Never a drop of rain on Arrakis. Like, having that limitation creates some really, really interesting and creative opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. That's really the interesting and important part. So while we also want to use it as a bit of a safety tool, like if there's something you're concerned about, put those things in here as well. But I think doing the things that might creatively inspire us to do something interesting. So I think that those are great. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to set a timer for us. I'll set a timer for just maybe 2 minutes, I think, to go ahead and use these red and pink sticky notes up here at the top, and just grab one, write something on it, and then pull it into the section here called Lacuni for any that you want. Don't feel pressured to put any. If you don't have any ideas for Lacuni, totally fine. But if you do, go ahead and add one, and we'll set that timer, and you can go, and then we'll talk about them after we're done writing them. I feel like I should have turned the music on or something.
I always
This
like
is
it when
when-
you have like the little bit of a jam while the timer's going.
Play the Jeopardy theme song or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. I might try that for the next one. I think you can do it. We'll see if it works. Hopefully you don't get a takedown notice over copyrighted music. We'll see.
I think that YouTube specifically says if you are performing the song, you're A-okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I included no Fae just because we have several realms that have Fae elements, so I thought that'd be interesting to take that one out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Although it may be tempting to go solar punk, we already did a really heavy solar punk realm.
Sure.
So I'm going to put that in as well. Okay. I don't know if anybody's in chat. Tell us if you hear that little ding. I'm curious.
Oh, I heard it. It was magical.
It was
I
beautiful.
know you hear it, but I'm curious if chat actually hears it when we share it like this.
It
I
was
hope
so
they do.
loud here.
Was it? Oh no. Okay. Well, let's go through what we have. I'll go ahead and read these ones. And if you have questions about any of them, or you have, or you want to explain a little bit about one that you wrote in particular, then I'll stop for a second at each one, and we'll take time for that. But the first one we have is Solar Punk. I gave my explainer for that already. We have, I think I put pirates as well, and that is the same reasoning because we have a very strong sort of pirate thing going already somewhere else. Then we have no sugar or sweeteners. This is interesting.
This
Yeah,
is sad.
That was me. I thought, what would a world be like if you couldn't make your food sweet? if it had to be, you know, like everything you ate was pretty utilitarian.
Savory? Could it be savory?
I think it'd still be savory. You can still have
Yeah.
salt and things like that, but you don't have these things that are like I just read a book where they talked about sugar's the other white powder, and it's like it's that like, and it's addicting, and we hand it out to kids and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, what would a world be like if you couldn't like automatically make your food delicious by putting a sweetener in it?
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, and that immediately makes my mind go to like, maybe everyone just eats through photosynthesis. They just get all their nutrients from the sun. Very
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very cool.
I went with no persistent darkness. Like I don't think darkness should last for a long time.
Yeah, that would make sense, especially if everyone gets their you know, sustenance from let's be really
sunlight.
weird though. How would you leave this place if you can't?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. All right. I like it. And then we've got 2 modern.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it, but I really like those more fantasy, crazy things than just, you know, normal modern things or like cyberpunk. But still, I think we can create something interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. No Fae, I think we know where that one's coming from. You mentioned that already, Em. And then we have no spiders. Is this one to avoid because we just don't like spiders?
Yes.
Good.
No
I am very
Earhart.
arachnophobic.
Yeah. Now, question is, does that mean there are a lot of insects because there are no spiders? Or are there
Probably.
other kinds of predators for insects and bugs?
Maybe
That's
everyone is
interesting.
just like giant frogs. No humans, just frogs.
I like lots of frogs. That's fun.
Frogs that
Okay.
do photosynthesis and eat bugs.
Photosynthesis.
Because
That's
all
interesting.
humans died eating sugar, and that's why there's no sugar anymore.
I see like battle toads in my head.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is great. All right. I think this gives us a good place to start, and we can move on to the next section. And would you like to talk about Universal and just give us an overview on that?
Absolutely. So Universal is going to be our really broad, like just like think as if you're just sketching out the scene just very lightly, right? It's your idea that you're going to build off of. So you want to stick to things like genre. Is this a gothic noir world? You could put that down. Or maybe you want it to be light and happy. You can put that down as well. So don't drill down into too many details yet. Just keep it nice and just the flavor of what this is. Did I kind of cover everything well?
Yeah, I think flavor is a really good way to think about it. It's really, you know, tone, flavor, that kind of thing. Nothing deeper than that. Very surface level.
Yeah, if you were going to put tags on your favorite TV show to describe it, like what would you put down? Is this a lighthearted and happy TV show that's like maybe a little bit animated? That would be good.
Yeah. Richie, we didn't discuss this, but you have some sticky notes here that are sticky note yellow. Would you like to change that color?
Oh, wow. Let's go with teal. That looks like that kind of hot
this one
green.
here?
Yeah.
There you go.
You got it.
This is going to be a pretty board.
Yeah, it's going to look like Easter. Okay. Let's do Universal then. Anybody have any questions or anything before we go into it?
Let me ask real quick. I don't want to step on people's creative toes. So if I start writing something, should I try to incorporate or bring in the ideas of other people, or do I just kind of like if we were sitting at a table and I'm just writing and like handing them, you know, like I got this idea. What's best practice here?
You can do anything you would like. Our goal here is that no one should feel like their toes are being stepped on. If 2 people put similar ideas, that's totally okay, right? We can work out the details of what we take from those, or if we just combine them and say, actually, these are basically the same. Maybe we like the name of one better and the description of the other thing better, and we'll just kind of merge them together in that way. But those are things that we'll talk about as we go through the process. But right now, we just make ideas and we keep it like pretty quiet. It's basically just putting down whatever you can think of. It doesn't really matter if it's the same or similar to somebody else's. And then later on, we'll talk through and figure out how to handle any conflicts or anything. That sound good?
It's great.
Worked for me.
Okay. I'm going to try music. Let's see. Okay. Boy, I don't know. Smooth groove. We'll try smooth groove. Let's see how awful this is. Ready for it? 2 minutes. 2 minutes of smooth groove. Okay. Here we go. Oh,
This is both smooth and groovy.
it's tequila.
Yeah.
Okay. If
We
you're
have
still
so many
typing one,
ideas.
that's fine. You can go ahead
2
and
minutes is
finish.
not nearly enough time.
I just want to say that I read Overgrown Jungle Vibes Human Plants, and I was a bit disturbed by that idea.
I don't know who wrote that. That was what I was seeing in my head was like forest, like what is the fire swamp kind of thing.
Ooh, fire swamp.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
accidentally typed human plants for just like 1 second, and I was like, not that.
Well, let's read through all of them. And this time, let's just read through them really quickly, and then we'll go back, and if you have questions about some, ask them after we've read through them all. And then we'll start proposing potential reasons to maybe combine some of these before we get to the next round when we'll do some voting. So that's coming up soon. Keep that in mind. Can I request, Richie, would you read these to us?
Yes. Do you want me to just run through what we've got? Do you want explanations or just read it?
Just run through what we've got.
All right. So we've got mentalism and psionics. We've got personal sons. We have a 50s aesthetic. We have amazing hats. We have a really small word, anthropomorphism, which is not a small word, but small text, I should say. Maybe that's for me because I've written anthropomorphic animals. All right. Nomadic lifestyle. We've got overgrown jungle vibes, huge plants. We have adventure or journey or quest, harsh sunlight, water world, but no pirates. The sun hates you on a personal level. Oh, not hates you. Sorry, I do need to keep moving back and forth between bigger text and smaller text here. Sorry. The sun. Oh, it is the sun hates you on a personal
hates you.
level.
Oh, it hates
it
you.
does.
Oh, it
It
hates
does
you.
hate you.
We have personal suns that hate you on a personal level. Too much energy, sad but happy, goblin core, frogs and bug people, and then finally we have post-war or spocalypse.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wrote it wrong. This was supposed to be late.
Apocalypse? Okay.
Ah,
This is
I was
fine.
hoping we would get a definition of what a spocalypse was.
Isn't that when they blow up the planet Vulcan? I think that's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
too many Spocks.
Apocalypse. All the
Yeah.
Spocks.
Okay, so this is great. There's a lot of fun stuff here. So let's talk about these. If you have a question about one, ask the question. Or if you would like to propose and say, hey, these two are pretty close. Like, can we find a way to make them, coexist with each other? We'll just put them together because of that. Or the other reason why you combine things, I feel like I've said this 90 billion times and I have to still summon great excitement about it because it is exciting. Or you can combine things because they are cooler and better together than they are apart. I know. Anyway, so those are the reasons. Those are the things we'll do. We'll spend a little bit of time on this. We won't time box it. We're just gonna talk through it. Oh, one rule. There's one rule. If two things are combined, the two authors of those things must agree that they should be combined.
Understood.
Yeah.
Deal.
All right, I have an idea.
Okay.
Richie, it's a combination with yours. I was thinking nomadic lifestyle plus water world. It'd be interesting is if we are following the water, because maybe if there is harsh sunlight, it dries water in a path, so you have to follow the water where it goes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm down with that. I like it.
Unless anybody had a cooler idea, I'm gonna just go ahead and sit these next to each other.
So
I like
in
it.
my head, that's interesting, because in my head I was seeing Kevin Costner Waterworld, like the whole planet
Oh.
is mostly liquid, but I really like that reading that it's more about the scarcity of water, and so nomadic lifestyle is going from water to water. However, I will say that the overgrown jungle, it would be very difficult to pull off in a sparse water world.
That's true. Unless it's like desert plants where when the water rises, all of them burst to life, and then when it's hot, they shrink back down again.
It's like Rama. If anybody knows Rama,
I don't know Rama.
Yeah.
No.
That's really cool. Another thing you could do too with that, I think, is you could make it a water world where it is all covered in water, but it's all water that's not non-potable, right?
Oh,
you have to travel to find, places where, rain has gathered or whatever, or something like that. So you could still keep it a mostly water-covered world if you wanted to.
I love
There's two
that
ways
as
to
well.
look at that. Yeah.
Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink, Will.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. Very sad, but interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to hear
Um,
more about the sun hates you on a personal level. I need to know
Yeah.
more about this.
So I live in a very moderate climate
Hmm.
state, but I am moving to a state, to a city where the sun quite hates you on a personal level because it is a very hot and dry city. Um, so I don't know. It could be like there is a sun god, and for some reason people made the god very, very angry, and now he just hates everyone and everything, and that might be why the planet got so dry, or why there's now just water that you can drink. um, it's a little joke we always tell there. So I don't know. I just thought we could use it somehow.
I like the
Yeah.
idea. I mean, we talked about it in the read through of like the personal sons, which I think is a fascinating idea combined with this like the sun hates you. My kids are playing Zelda right now, and there's the little fairy that follows you around. But imagine having a personal son that like really kind of is snarky and doesn't like you that much. Or even hates you. Like I think that's just a fascinating idea, and I think it plays to this. I like the sad but happy, right? The bittersweet kind of story of, maybe there's a reason for why that's happening and why there is so much hatred between the sun gods or the sun people or whatever it is that provides the light of the sun to the individuals that they are assigned to or something.
Maybe the sun people or people in general literally broke the sun, and now the sun is a billion pieces, and now everyone has a personal sun because the sun broke and the sun is pissed off. Now
I
he's
love
gonna
it.
make
I
everyone's
love
life
that idea.
miserable.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own little piece of sun that they all have to tend to and like take care of,
Yes.
but it's really snarky because it wants to be up in the sky. Ugh.
Yeah, and everyone's trying to like put the sun together, but maybe they just can't because it's a lot of people and they can't figure out how to work together. And
Hmm.
maybe that's like a huge world quest, like put the sun back up.
How cute would it
Okay.
be if you were like lived in a little colony and stuff, and everybody every night brings their little pieces of sun together, and they can all just like hang out. That'd be adorable.
That would be very cute.
Okay.
So I'm hearing we might want to combine personal sons and the sun hates you on a personal
Yeah,
level. Yeah?
I like
and
it.
I like that a lot.
Okay. It's done. What else?
Also, frogs and bug people could go together with anthropom-
Oh,
anthropomorphism.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Um, like even if it, just want to have more animal people, it can be
Hmm.
more than just frogs and bugs.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could be mostly frogs and bugs. There could be humans too. I'm not saying that they're excluded, right? I don't think we actually excluded humans in the no, we didn't. So there's still a possibility for there to be humans at this
Yes.
point. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Isabella,
What
I'm
else?
I'm embarrassed to ask this question, but can you tell me more about Goblin Core?
So it's a strange thing that um, happens on the internet. It's one of the weird cars aesthetics that just I don't know, was born on Pinterest or something like that. So goblin core is basically the aesthetic of a very cute goblin. Like you like moss and you like dirt and mushrooms and a bunch of buttons and shiny little trinkets. And it's kind of a cozy. It's kind of like cottagecore, but more like earthy and with more mushrooms
Snails.
and moss. Yes, and snails. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah. And and if math rocks existed, they would be collected by these
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. What else? Are there? We don't have to combine any other things. I'm just I want to make sure that we explore options if we want to.
Um, did we
So
want to combine overgrown jungles with the water world? I still want to make sure that I have like the mental image of what the world looks like.
Hmm.
Mm, we could. Like, there are some types of forests that, like, they are almost underwater. They are not totally underwater, but like most of it is underwater. I have no idea what's the name of that type of forest in English.
That might be where, like, maybe there are
swamp.
certain plants that have evolved to like hold the water when it rains, and
Yeah.
these forests reach up out of the ocean, like they live, their roots are underneath the water, but they reach up and they've evolved to be able to hold water, and then people nomadically travel to those places to get the water. Yeah.
I am thinking about little frog people sipping from leaves, and it's just maybe my favorite.
It could look like a swamp or I think it's called a mangrove.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
mangrove trees.
I'm
Yeah.
so down for that.
Yeah. Do we want to
Are
put
you
those
okay with
two
that,
together
Richie?
then?
Yeah, I'm good with
I
that.
like it.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Could war and post-apocalyptic go with something?
I was feeling like, I mean, because Goblin Core to me, from the description I'm hearing, could match very nicely with the overgrown jungle, the huge plants, where you get this very like swampy. What I just read a anyway, yeah, where like everything is sort of plant based and yeah, now I'm gonna have to go look that up again. There's a book I
So
just
that
read. The whole magic system was based around plants, and it was very, very like earthy, druid type, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'll go find it. But
you should definitely hit me up with that title because that sounds like my jam.
it's so. That's by the
what
guy that
about
did Boundary Side.
Mhm.
what about harsh sunlight and too much energy? Would those go well together?
I think, yeah.
Um, Isabella, I wanted to ask, do you think that post-war apocalypse goes well with like personal suns? Because if the sun hates you, it's maybe because of something that broke the sun, right?
Yeah, I think it will look nice.
I was thinking along those same lines of like, or even the too much energy going up with the sun hates you. That idea, Emma, you were talking about, where like they bring their sons together. I think it was you, Emma, or maybe it was about like bring the sons together, and they come together, and the idea is everybody's trying to get all the sons together, but it's like a feudal society or something that everybody's trying to get the water on this water world, right? And so like what happens is when you get too much power, too much energy, that's what caused the shattering of the sun.
You
So,
know what could... Oh, sorry. You can
oh,
speak.
oh no, go ahead.
You know what could be really fun? If like the sun protected a place or an entire world, something, from like shadow creatures or something like that. And now that the sun is gone, people have really to just get really close into those villages, protected villages, and like they do this little thing of putting the little pieces of sun together, because at a certain time of night, I don't know how there's still night and day, but there's still night and day.
Of course.
They just put everything together to like create enough light to protect the village from those shadow dark creatures or something like that.
Mm.
I love this idea. Can you imagine how scary it would be to be like on your raft in the middle of the night alone, just holding onto your son, hoping you're going to be safe?
Yeah, that sounds
Love it.
terrifying.
I think we have plenty of room to get into that when we get into like big picture and things as well.
Yes.
So that's really good. Question. So I heard a proposal to move post-apocalyptic, post-war in with the sun hates you on a personal level. I have a counter proposal, which would be to move that with mentalism and psionics and suggest that this was brought about by people gaining control over like mental powers and things. And maybe that does have something to do with the sun, and maybe because they took all the personal suns and they used their mental powers to create and harness these personal sarcastic little suns, that was what caused the post-apocalyptic situation where the bigger suns were extinguished.
I really like that.
That's pretty cool too. Let's hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could totally meld that whole thing together if we wanted to.
We love a big combination.
Yeah.
Do we want to do a big combination then?
I'm down.
Okay. Let's do it.
I really want to put amazing hats with something.
I do too.
I don't know what, but I need to.
Well, it could be so the harsh sunlight or too much energy. If during the day when all the suns are wide awake, you know, all the sun pieces or whatever are wide awake, like you have to shield. I think if you've got people on rafts and that sort of thing, like typically in those cultures, it wouldn't be abnormal that you have, you know, like a really kind of funny hat or amazing hat that is this, you know, that it's really a sun protection that you wear. And
Sure,
imagine
like raft cities is what I'm picturing, Richie. Is that where you're going? Yeah.
Is what?
Like raft cities, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you walk around because you can't afford the material to put over your head in the raft city because you need it to support everybody and keep things afloat. Yeah.
I'm good to combo that, but only if we also bring in Goblin Core.
We could put amazing hats and goblin core together if you want. You want to do, so you're saying this and these ones?
I was saying with harsh sunlight. Like it's supposed to protect you from that harsh sun. Amazing hats. Yeah.
Like so.
That was my thought, but I'm open to whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
I like it.
I'm still trying to figure out the 50s aesthetic. Which
there may not be one. There may not be one.
Because we still have to vote on this and see what comes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, amazing hats here.
You can go, for me, can go there or with Goblin Core or like everything together also works for me.
Whatever y'all want to do.
I think it's your pick, Will.
It's not mine. I don't have a card on the thing.
Oh.
None of those are my colors.
Or we could put Goblin Core, hats, harsh sunlight, too much energy, and like frogs and anthropomorphism together. Because like frogs and bugs, especially frogs, they are very sensible to like heat and stuff. So maybe they use giant hats to protect them from the heat or something like that. I don't know. I just want hats.
We need the hats, Will.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there's no like really strong, like everybody who has cards agrees and says let's pull them together, I would say let's vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many votes do we get?
Oh, we'll get a few.
Okay.
We'll get a few. Let's see. Let's see how many we can get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say 3.
Whoa.
Do you want 4?
I want 4, Will.
I'll give you 4. I'll give you 4. Okay, let's do 4. So you should get a little dialogue up that comes up and says join voting. Click join voting. And then you ought to be able to put a vote on different groups. You vote by groups. So, yeah.
And remind me what we're voting for.
Vote for the groups of ideas that you want the most.
Ah, okay. I gotcha.
Because not everything will stay.
Yes.
Did we? And we didn't bring Goblin Core into one of the groups.
I know.
Okay. Here goes voting.
But it's okay. Frogs are kind of goblin core.
Just in
It's
general,
alright. Yeah.
frogs and swamp cover a large portion of Goblin Core.
Yeah.
We get 4 votes.
4 votes.
I'm judging your choice as well. I'm looking.
That's fair. I decided to think outside the box a little bit. We'll see. Okay, looks like everyone's done. Let's see what people came up with. Interesting. Okay.
Ah! Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to move the 50s aesthetic out because I don't think that fit with what everybody was thinking. Adventure. That's not to say there isn't adventure or journey or quest happening here. I don't think that's out of the picture. It's just not the main focus. Sad but happy only got 1. Goblin Core got a couple. Amazing Hats got a couple. We need this up at the top. There we go. So this is kind of our grouping here. Where do y'all want to draw the line? I think we could draw the line at 3 votes if we wanted to be very honed in, or we could draw the line at 2 votes and bring in even a little bit more.
I already wrote Harsh Sunlight and Goblin Core.
Okay, sounds like we're drawing the line at 2 votes.
But that is my strong feelings.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's great.
Okay.
Excellent. So this is our universal phase. So the way Arium Create works, and we've already done this a little bit, we put together some lacunae and then we took that and built off of it. We don't discredit anything we've already determined, and we just continue to build more onto what we've already built. We don't ever go back and sort of retcon something that we've already created. We just add on to it. We continue to make it more detailed as we go. So that's what we'll do next. We'll move on from universal across the way to big picture. I'm going to, for the sake of our viewing audience, I'm going to scroll way up here to the Arium Create steps, and I will read the big picture to you. It is the backdrop and scope of an Arium. For example, continents, wars, if there's magic or tech, how accessible is it? We don't think there's tech because we kind of went away from that. How does it influence the Arium? How does this overall concept influence things? So for sure, I think we have sort of a mentalism psionics sort of thing. And we want to define a little more about what that is and how it might work as part of big picture. We'll also want to talk about it sounds like we have these, potentially like Raft City type things, but that is probably for a later step, right? I mean, unless there's very significant conflict between different groups of Raft cities or things like that we might want to talk about from either a historical or current timeline sort of viewpoint. But we have several steps that are coming still. We have culture and organizations, which is where we'll really get into a little more of the nitty-gritty of how day-to-day life operates, and maybe more history and what types of organizations are there and what are their purposes and what are they hoping to accomplish and things like that. Later on, we'll get into locations, which are more, places you could point at on a map, usually more of a street level map, but it could be a little bigger than that. So there could be, I guess, in this world, a raft city could be a big picture item. I'm coming back around on that idea now because that is sort of the largest conceptual thing, right? So a raft city actually could be big picture. So if you have like an idea for different types of raft cities, we could talk about those in big picture. And then later on, we'll talk about like what are the buildings? Is there a particular part of a raft city that's very important, right, from a location standpoint, or places around the world that you can get to? Like, is there dry land somewhere, right? Going back to the water world concept, Richie, or what? So we'll come back to all of those things, but that is basically our idea for big picture. Any questions?
I have a question. Do you think
Yeah.
that I'm going to manage to make just big picture items this time, or do you think I'm going to have 2 or 3 that gets dragged somewhere else?
I mean,
It's
you're probably about 70% yes, there'll
yeah.
be some. So let's see. Let's find out.
Okay,
I
sounds
don't know.
good.
We'll do the voting again. So I'll set it up. Not voting, my bad. The timer. I think I'll give us about 3 minutes for this one because it can take a little longer sometimes for ideas to come in. But
Thank you.
we'll do 3 minutes. Do we like Smooth Groove as our
I just
music?
kind of want to know what else is out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the options are Sunshine Jam, Up-Tempo Funk, Calm Flow, Chill Beats, and Cosmic Vibe.
Well, I don't think it's the right mood, but Sunshine Jams sounds like what we're working with here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
Although
Let's
the
try
mood
it.
does not see.
Let's
Yeah.
try it. Let's see what happens. We'll do Sunshine Jam. Okay. And I'll start the timer. You can go ahead and start putting your items in big picture.
This is so happy. Oh my god.
Oh, I already did one wrong.
Mm.
Okay. Ooh, all right. This looks interesting. Isabella, would you mind reading for us?
Okay, we have Bleached Hump, a mountaintop that is just whitened rock used for navigation. Energy control is second nature to mentalists. Weather control is just evolving. The smallest raft, the smallest raptor on the sea, smallest independent raft city. They have secrets to staying free. Weapons, alliance between raft cities, coalitions that guard water sources. Rat cities capture cities like corporate takeovers. Long-standing myth about
Ooh. Unification.
unification of the suns, the Coral War, sun guardians, shadow creatures. Do humans exist? Humans are a scary story for children. Carcasses of no longer existing animals, floating little houses, and underwater temples.
Mm.
Also, please let me know if I
Ah,
am writing too much. I have weird ideas.
I
no,
love
this
your
is great.
ideas.
This
I
is
love
great.
them. I was gonna say, I'm ready. Let's go. This sounds like
Yeah.
the coolest place to go hang out.
Yeah, this is fantastic. All right. So same drill as last time. If you have a question, you want to get some clarification, ask. If you have a proposal to combine some things for the two reasons we want to combine things, either they just belong together or they would be better together than they are apart, go ahead and chime in.
I would
They're all
really like
just
to. Oh, sorry. You can. You
no,
can.
no.
You
I was
can
just
say.
saying that everything's so cool. You please help. Go ahead.
Um, I would like to know more about the mentalists. Like, they just started existing. Something made them exist. Like, who were they?
Yeah. I think that is the who and whatnot. I think I would probably maybe put more in the next section, but I think this is a group of people who have, you know, the ability to do things with their minds. It's not really magic, right? It's more like a mutation or something like that, right? Where they can control energy in particular. That's the main idea that I had with that. So this is how the whole sun, the personal suns thing came about, and the ability to kind of control, and probably maybe they can protect themselves from too much energy as well, I would say. So maybe it's both sides of that. Um, but I think that's their primary, and I think it could be used as a weapon as well potentially, but you know that's something for another time maybe.
I
That's
think
really cool.
I don't know, Will, if you're familiar with or anybody with Ursula K. Le Guin's Wizard of Earthsea, right? Which this is kind of feeling that way, but like weather control, if they do live out on the ocean, would be huge, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if somebody's coming towards you and you've got like a weatherist or whatever this kind of person would be called on your city or on your whatever, like the ability to throw a storm at somebody in the open sea, especially if it's whatever, like I think is a huge deal. But then you've got other people who can control energy, like maybe they create the shield around their city, or I mean, I'm not trying to make it like I know all of mine are about these like cities eating each other or whatever, but like this idea of when they come together, how they interact, if it's peaceful. And that's why I like this the corporate, right? I use the corporate takeovers. I originally thought of the concept of like um Mortal Engines, right, where the cities are eating each other. But
Mm-hmm.
this is more like they come together and maybe they decide we would be better off if we merge, if we like make our cities, come together. And so anyway, this idea of like what happens when they meet together, how are they trying to learn to survive on this like caustic ocean? And I mean, yeah, it's just, anyway, my brain's just firing a million directions, and they dive down to the underwater temples, and I wanted to put hearts all over the Coral War, and yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the underwater temples, like I could totally see my first thought with that was like, oh, underwater temples, like maybe that's where people like found and are unlocking the information about like how to do weather control with their mental abilities or whatever, right? Or something like that. Right? It's this maybe that's like some past time thing, but
Rediscovering ancient
yeah,
knowledge.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
100%.
So if the world is flooded, right, it wasn't originally that way with all of this stuff that you couldn't, like, it makes sense you would try to anchor to something. Like we've got the humped rock, right? Like that you would anchor to something, and anchoring to temple locations, like you build your city over that temple location, and then you can find ways to do like submersive. And if they're like frog people, they could dive down for maybe certain periods of time, but they can go down and explore, you know, these underwater temples. And yes, in my mind, I'm seeing levels from the original Sonic game.
Oh yeah.
That's incredible.
They're
That's really nice.
Yeah. No, that's very cool.
Oh man, how do we even combine these, Will? These are all like they feel kind of unique, but also they're so cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. I would maybe just combine weapons with the energy control thing, probably.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I like that.
I don't know if that's okay.
Also, the weather control thing for survival, that will be very important because like rain, usually it's still like fresh water. Maybe in this universe it is not. Maybe, I don't know, it's acid rain, but might be just freshwater rain.
Yeah.
So it might be just a very important resource.
That could absolutely like contribute to like those hostile takeovers as well. Maybe like, nope,
Yeah.
you have somebody that we also need to be part of our community. Like those people are going to be very important.
I did want to. I meant to write this and I didn't get around to it. I just pulled it in, but
Love that.
yeah,
So I didn't
it was
write
the idea
this.
we talked about earlier, right?
I don't know, this feels like retconning, but I did want to put races in here, and I didn't know if that goes to culture or if that goes to a different location. But if what different is there a race that is naturally mentalist in nature or that can carry that? Is there a, you know, and I don't necessarily mean like race, but well, race, yeah, that's what you have, like frog people. You've got, if you got insect people, do you have flyers? Do you know, that sort of thing? So anyway.
Yeah. I think in terms of the mentalism, I wouldn't want to be exclusive and say that that's available. Like anybody who can train and put in the time can learn it. I think essentially, I think that's how I'd like to have that fly. But I think for sure, like if we have insect people that have wings, then they would be able to fly, right? But you know, a frog person probably wouldn't be able to fly because they wouldn't have wings. Unless they
But
can do
maybe
it
they
with
can
their
swim
mentalism.
really well.
Maybe they can swim really well, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we have like a lot of wars and conflict on many societies because like sharks eat bugs. So they're usually not very friendly with each other. But like some of the places they probably had to like learn how to live together because like bugs can fly and frogs can swim. So like they need each other to like exist in this world.
You could have something like Central City in the Legend of Korra, where all the different types of
Yeah.
bender cultures live together in harmony, more or less, but they still have their own societies where they live separate. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
there's one like major raft city or whatever.
A hub, yeah.
A hub,
Yeah.
Yeah, Zootopia.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna bring this over. I had moved it to culture and orgs, but I might just take off legend. I said the inklings, they're scary shadow creatures that crawl out of the dark depths. I was thinking that maybe those shadow creatures you were talking about is Puffy was that they were like really deep in the water, and so they come up during the daytime or the
Oh,
nighttime, right? Because they're like they don't know where the light is, and so that light keeps them back.
They come up
That
and
would
right
be
at you,
terrifying.
right?
so okay. I was gonna say, like, central conflicts. I'm seeing, like, if you go down to the temples and the Inklings are coming out, right? The shadow creatures, or do they come out at night and they come up when the sun, like the personal suns, are weaker, and so is like core conflict around surviving. You've got survival of the harsh world that they live in. You've got survival of the nightly attacks of the Inklings, or you want to get the knowledge of how to do the psionics from the temples, but you can only do that at certain times, or you have to take certain weapons, something with you to protect yourself when you do that. And then there's also the conflict of, the other rafts that might come in and like take over your rafts, trying to get the knowledge that you've been able to glean, or the training that you've received, the people that have that training. Anyway, just very, very different sort of, if you were telling a story, right? Like, this story is all about the Coral War between, the two very close temples or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was thinking about the whole jungle and underwater temples and things. And I remember the fact that mangroves, they usually, if I'm remembering it correctly, grow in like salt and freshwater, like when there's a bit of both. So
Brackish
like
water.
maybe the cities are in the mangroves because the temples for some reason make some very small portion of the water fresh, and that's why those plants can grow and people can live.
I love that idea.
And like
What do
Yeah.
maybe the shadow creatures, their inklings, maybe they started to exist because like people, I don't know, destroyed one of the temples or all of the temples, and that's also why the sun broke or something like that.
So many fun ideas. I think, I don't know, like you said earlier, I'm not sure if we're going to get to combine any of these. They are just all really very cool. I
Yeah.
wonder if we'd be best served by just let's vote. We'll get more votes because there aren't as many things combined, and then we can kind of see what comes out of it. Because I think there are almost infinite cool combinations between these ideas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, and maybe that's a good way to go. So I'm going to set up the voting. Unless anybody
Also,
really has like a strong, like, let's move these together quick before we vote.
I think shadow creatures could just go with the inklings because like it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Do you want to move that over there then, Em?
You got it. Sorry, I'm using my left hand and this just a little tricky. There we go.
There we go. All
And do we
right.
combine, do humans exist with the human?
I think we
Humans
could
are
totally
scary
could.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's so
Yeah,
funny
let's
is that
put.
people are going to be coming to this world to like help, like they're summoned by like these times of need, and there will be humans, and they're going to be like, "We're here!" They would like, "Ah!"
Are those demons?
We could. I think, Richie, we probably could put the raft cities and the smallest rafter
Yeah,
together. The
and
raft
maybe
cities
even the
capture.
floating little houses.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, floating little houses. So those three. Sorry, I have the voting interface up, so I can't drag
I
things
can do
around.
it.
Someone
Yeah,
else
you
will have
want
to do it.
floating little houses with the smallest rafter, and also raft cities.
Yeah, that's what I was
Boom.
kind of thinking.
I got you.
Thank you.
I might take longest standing myth for the Suns and bring it down to culture and orgs if you're okay with that, Will.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of these. So let's do 5 votes.
Just
Sound good?
5.
Yeah,
Okay.
just 5.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready.
How do I pick all 13 if I only have 5 votes?
I know.
It's-
This is where we
it's difficult.
strategically
It's
planned between
difficult.
all of us to just put 1 vote on each, and then all of them have to. That sucked. That was hard. I just went really fast and ripped that band-aid right off.
This is difficult.
You know why it's difficult? It's because we didn't have music this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this was very difficult.
You know, I'm watching Will try and decide where to put his last vote.
That's what I'm watching too.
All right.
Oh wow,
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm
pretty unified.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? Okay. Let's move that. Let's move that. That. These are all so good. It was hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Underwater temples at the top. These guys at the top. How do we feel about our 2s?
I think they are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. Okay.
There we go. Okay, recorded.
All right. So we'll keep building on these ideas. These are all canon, the ones with 2 or more votes. And we'll move on to culture and organizations. Culture and organizations is... Do you want to tell them about culture and organizations, Em?
Yeah, absolutely. So culture and organizations are like beliefs, legends, things that like make people like kind of dictate behavior, right? And then organizations is going to be stuff like schools, um, secret groups, institutions, things that are established that people's lives somewhat revolve around.
Yeah. They could be private or governmental or whatever. Yeah.
Hmm. It could be religions too.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on in those underwater temples? Let me know.
Yeah. Let's find out. Let's do 2 minutes on this one.
Okay. Do we get chill music?
We get not Sunshine Jam again. I think I'm good on that one.
Okay.
Should we do...
It was a bit too much sunshine.
Yeah, a bit too much sunshine. Let's try Cosmic Vibe. See what that one's like. Okay, ready? Sorry, I'm trying to. I'm not gonna finish it. No, can't do it. All right. Let us read through what we have.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you like me to? I
Do you
thought you
mind?
said my name, and then I like retroactively was like, I don't think he did.
I was
I think
about
it's your
to.
turn, Em.
Okay, cool. So we have got the Waterfinder Society, a long-standing myth about the unification of the suns, Inkling Research Organization, naturalist, marine biologist, sun worship, the Order of the Sun, monks/druids, non-sunners, those who reject the sun, belief that the sun purifies the water. We can live on UV alone. The legend of the Unders City. Belief everyone leaves out a gift on the deck every fourth day as a gift of reparation to the broken sun. Sun purifiers. Sometimes your personal sun gets dim. So this would be like a group you take your little personal sun to and they rejuvenate it. Mythical beings made of light that ended the second sun. Bill, I need to hear more about that eventually. Guild of Currents, map makers who path fresh water. I already read that one. Then we've got people who think the mentalist caused everything. Don't eat bugs. Or do. Depends on the place. Specialized cities or rafts, the builders, the healers, etc. The ones who live in the dark. Scary. Okay. And
Love it.
sun priests that take care of the temples. They swim very well.
Can I add one more?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Of course. Of course, of course.
I don't know. Like we are going with the mentalist thing. We can maybe like fight some vendors.
Well, if we have the energy magic you were talking, or that you had from the last one, Will, like sunbenders, or
I think that totally fits. Yeah.
yeah, totally works. Or weather control. It's awesome.
But for them to have like an organization or something, I think that's a cool idea, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that actually goes nicely. And it's my own, but like the Order of the Sun, the monks, the druids.
I was thinking that too. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay.
I love that.
Good.
Water finder. I keep reading Wayfinder. The Water Finder Society and the Guild of Current Map Makers. Those could be together with like the specialized cities or rafts, and like it could also be just like groups of people who travel in small portable cities or like just boats selling their services or something like that.
I love that. I think they could absolutely be combined. They have similar hearts to them.
I'm good with it. Okay. What else?
I really like the Legend of the Undercity. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Same. I want to hear more about these mythical beings made of light that ended the second sun. I am just dying of curiosity over that. Is that like a legend?
Yeah. I think there are people who believe in these mythical beings and that are maybe trying to bring them back or discover them or make them bring the sun back or something, right?
All right.
Like they feel like if they can find them, it would just solve so many problems.
I think they're opposites, but that actually pairs kind of nicely with the ones who live in the dark.
I think so too.
I like it.
100%.
The ones who live in the dark, I did not have anything in mind. I just thought the name was cool.
Hmm.
Also, we could put it together with like other beliefs of what caused the sun to break, the second sun to break. Like some people might think that it just broke out of nowhere. Others might think that like the mentalists caused it, or I don't know, that the bugs caused it, or the frogs.
Yeah,
I think I would put the mentalist one there for sure.
I think so for sure.
What about where is it? Where'd it go? Sometimes you get
Maybe
no.
it could go with sun worship, like the sun purifiers, and
Yeah.
everyone leaves a gift out in the dark. Maybe.
Like that? What do you
I'm
think?
down. Yeah, I think that I really love sun worship plus sun purifiers. If Richie's cool with that one,
Absolutely.
and I'm also finding the gift one, but that was also just like a little bit of flavor. And if we want to keep an idea specific, that's okay too. I'm happy either way.
I like that a lot.
I was thinking how wild would it be is if the way that they purified the sun is if they like dipped it in water and it actually ruined fresh water
That would be
Oh.
and
cool.
made it caustic. And so that's why it's like kind of like a secretive thing you give your son and they're like, here you go, but you have no idea you just like ruined 10 days worth of water to brighten your sun. And they're willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. What do you think, Richie?
Yeah.
So we can put that up here with these.
It's kind of the opposite of Richie's thing though, because that's the sun purifies the water, and this is the sun is ruining the
Purifies
water.
the water. I misspelled it. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Maybe.
You misspelled it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, that it would be
He meant
purifies.
depurifies.
Yeah.
Got it.
Maybe it's a process that can go both ways. Like you can either dim out your sun a bit to get fresh water, or you can like kill a bit your sun to get fresh. No, wait.
Yeah,
You know the
I
other
can
thing.
completely follow you. That's a cool idea. It's like a give and take.
Because like in this world, it feels like light and water are like the two most important resources you can have.
Mm-hmm.
I think about like how, plants take oxygen and take carbon dioxide and convert it into oxygen, which is a good thing. But there are some plants like mushrooms that do the opposite, that actually
Yeah.
breathe oxygen and going way back to our photosynthesis idea, but the idea that there are sometimes or some things that purify and some things that putrefy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love that a lot.
Yes.
So what are we saying
Plug
we're
it in.
combining? This one?
Combine it.
Yeah, plug it
But
in.
we're just gonna mentally
Okay.
also know that it does the reverse sometimes.
Okay. Can I suggest that this is the name of this long-standing myth?
Yes.
Okay.
Love that.
You know what could be fun? The Inkling Research Organization. It could be a type of specialized city or rat, but they could also be mistaken by non-sunners, like people who just hate the sun, and like some people have, I don't know, some kind of prejudice against them, even though they are just the ones who are trying to understand the whole situation, like how to get rid of these creatures and
Oh,
something
like
like
it's
that.
a type of like experiment that they're doing, and everyone's like, "Oh, they just hate the sun," and they're like, "No, I'm just actually really
Yeah,
passionate about studying the Inklings."
yeah, and like maybe there are also people who just hate the sun. Like the sun kind of hates you, so it makes sense you will hate it back.
Mhm.
Um, like maybe those are like connected somehow, or maybe they are not connected, but like people think they are connected when they are not.
That
Yeah,
makes
I
sense
think
to me. That
that's
Go
a
ahead.
really cool thought, Isabella, is like the idea that we assume that because they are non-sunners that they are that I don't know the right way to verbalize what I was thinking while you were saying that, but this idea that we're studying the Inklings, but that's not necessarily destroying the sun, right? Like those aren't mutually exclusive. Like you either are one or the other. It's that we are, and it's not like it's not like Inkling worship. It's like it's more curiosity. It's aligning with something that doesn't necessarily destroy the sunlight. Going back to this idea of like sometimes the sun purifies, sometimes it putrefies, but like people think, well, you study the Inklings, it's always going to putrefy. It's always bad, as
Yeah,
opposed to yeah. I could see them together.
Yeah,
Along
to
with
build on that, Richie, if you were going to do Inkling research, you're gonna do it at night. People would just automatically assume if you're awake only at night that you hate the sun, right? That's the scariest time. Why are you up?
yeah,
That's cool. I think we
and
should definitely
maybe,
combine those.
yeah, and maybe the Inklings are corrupted people, like people corrupted by the dark. And like the researchers are trying to find way to reverse that. Like there are Inklings that are just like huge dark creatures, very scary, probably a bit Cthulhu. Um, but like there's also they can corrupt people because like maybe there are two sons and like one son is a father and the other son is a son, and because of this son died, now there's like a lot of darkness in the world, and the darkness can corrupt just like the sun, something like that. I don't know.
Mhm.
That was a cool idea. I don't know if I 100% followed it, but I think it was a neat concept.
I think of like Isabella, what you were thinking, or what I was hearing was, I thought of um, in the book Elantris. I've been using a lot of like Sanderson today for some reason, but in the book Elantris, there was something that happened that corrupted the world, and because it corrupted the world, things that were good started doing evil or bad things, right? Like so, something that corrupted in the natural state of the world, like the shattering of the sun, caused these sea creatures to become Inklings, right? Whether or not they wanted to, they became scary and monstrous, and like for a lot of the sun people, or the people that lived above the water, like that became really scary, and they had to learn to live their life above the water. But the people under the water didn't, like they're just in it. They because of the corruption of the world, the misaligning, they became more antagonistic and more attacking. And so I think like the Inkling Research Society or whatever, right? Like the idea is the answer isn't to unify the suns, it's to understand how to undo the Inklings. Like that's the
Oh,
answer. That's how we figure it out, is by figuring out what caused the corruption that made them so antagonistic, and so we face that.
that's cool.
I really like that. And it kind of makes sense because like the ocean is really dark. Like the more you go down, the darker it is. There's just no light. So maybe it's darkness that corrupts things, and that's why everyone is so afraid of the darkness. And the ones who try to stay in the darkness are just like, "Hey, are you a witch? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, I think the Inklings could also be like the only humans who were able to survive the apocalypse or whatever, right? But they did it by going
Yeah.
down into the.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, that's
That
a
could be
thought.
fun.
So do we have any other things that we need to combine, or do we feel like we want to vote on these? Like any last combinations?
I think we can vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's vote. I'll set it up. All right. So we're going to do 4 votes this time, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Only 4.
Only 4.
only 4. Ooh.
Interesting.
All right. Looks like that's where we landed. That's pretty good. All right. Well, wow. Okay. I thought that this would go a little differently, but it didn't. That's good. Okay, so let's move these down.
And any of the things that aren't being used, Will and I will put in our back pocket, and it might make it in there
For
eventually. We always do
sure,
a
yeah.
lot of editing. Once it's done.
We do edit pretty heavily when it comes to what we align with the rules of Vi. So it'll be, but this is the foundation for all of it. This is really cool. I like this. I am surprised a little, but I'm okay with it.
I'm curious about your surprise, Will. What surprised you?
I honestly thought the myth about the unification of the suns would get some votes. I didn't vote for it because I thought somebody else would vote for it.
I did the same thing though.
Yeah.
Because I wavered between that one and another one. I was like, this one's obviously going to get in. I'm going to go vote for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I voted on it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put that one out there.
Okay.
Like that. Okay. This is great. Well, let's do landmarks. So this is more specifically places, right? Like it could be, in a world with lots of land, it could be a bridge or a canyon. Or in this world, it's things that are either specific landmarks underwater or above water or on a raft, right? And
Hovering in the sky with no explanation.
It shouldn't be bigger than like the Empire State Building. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like not bigger than a really giant skyscraper. That's about your limit in terms of size. So something like that. We'll do 2 minutes again, I think, for this one.
Okay.
Do we need different music?
Yeah, we got to test them all.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to chill beats, calm flow, or up tempo funk.
Up the funk, obviously.
The funk, yeah.
Yes.
All
Give
right.
us the funk.
The funk and nothing but the funk.
Nothing but the funk. Here we go.
These are fun.
These are fun.
All right. I'll read through them really quickly here. We've got different colored stars for navigation. We have the waterfall. We have frog fills fencing. We have the Temple of the Shattering, where it all went down. One underwater, one in the sky. Ooh. We have City Center, where you almost forgot you're floating. We have Lazy Drift, a purple-tinged current that casually carries people through a swamp. We have Everclear Grove, a small bunch of trees with a tasty sap. We have Brine Shrimp Cove, a common fishing spot. We have the Drowned Court. We have the Everstorm Cloud, the Deep Dark, the Burnt City, and City on a Giant Turtle or Snail.
Because those are always very cute.
I am so charmed by the snail idea. I'm just picturing like little things hanging off the sides. It's so cute. Oh man. So were you guys thinking that we should start with like the combination? Because these all feel pretty different to me. Do we just go straight to voting?
Thank
We
you.
could always ask questions or clarification, but yeah, go to voting for sure.
Oh, I have a question. What is the Frog's Feels fencing?
That's where you go to learn fencing from Frog Phil.
I
So like
couldn't
sword
tell.
fighting?
Yeah, like sword fighting. I
That's
couldn't tell if it
awesome.
was
Yes.
that or like where I go to buy fencing for my little area of the raft.
I wasn't sure either until just that moment.
See, and I thought I had translated it as like this is where you get your illicit goods.
Oh,
I
like
also
a
had
fence.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I actually went through all three synonyms. Yes.
Maybe we don't know. Maybe every time you go, it's a surprise.
It could be.
Maybe there's 3 different frog fills fencing and they're all competitors.
And they're all brothers, like twin brothers. And they
Triple
hate
We've been
each other.
competing since we were tadpoles.
Yes.
I actually kind of like that. I think that's really fun.
Incredible.
I would love to hear more about the Drowned Court.
I was trying to think of a specific location, and I saw some of the other things that were coming out, and I was trying to think what would be a cool setting for a place. And originally it was the Drowned Courtyard, but I thought if you go down to one of the temples and there was just a space where, you know, it maybe there's an inkling court that meets, or there is the ruins of an ancient court that point to what the civilization used to be like before the shattering. I don't know.
That's really fun. I like it.
Yeah.
I love the
Me
deep
too.
dark.
I don't know what it is. It's just a cool name.
Mhm.
I thought about like maybe the darkest place you could go, or like the darkest place someone has ever gone to, or maybe it's the Drowned Court. Like the Drowned Court might be like a specific place in the bigger Deep Dark. Like the Deep Dark is almost a biome.
Mhm. Okay. Should we vote on that?
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. Some voting. This is really easy. Very easy to set up. So there are 13. We'll do 4 votes each. See how it goes.
Oh no! I didn't get added to the voting because I clicked off of it on accident. How do I join?
Here.
Sorry.
Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I was ready last time though, so who really knows?
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay.
Oh, these are really spread
Ooh.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move a couple of these down.
Interesting. I think in number 1 there was a couple 4 votes, but generally speaking, I think 3 is about as high as we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, there's our top 5. Looks good. I think some of these others may make an appearance as well, but that's good stuff.
Yeah, Emma, I maybe this is in poor taste, but I was like, I can tell Emma's done this before. She is so good at like the lazy drift, and I was like, Brine Shimp Cove. That sounds totally like it's pedestrian enough that that's a real thing that would be there, but it's also at the same time. I mean, it's kind of like Frog Phil's fencing, where it's like this is a real world kind of deal. It just felt so real, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, should we go on to people? These are actual people who live here. In Vi, often Em and I will mine the people that we put up for enemies for our characters in the game. But you know, they could also be NPCs or people that folks would run into. All sorts of things like that. Or if somebody puts in a really cool idea, then maybe we would use them as a template for a character archetype. Also a possibility. So lots of fun things. So proper nouns are appropriate here. If you want to proper noun somebody, you can put pronouns if you want to. You can put descriptions, all those things, and then basically we just like combine them up if we want to. Like nothing has to be fully complete. I find myself writing names a lot. I don't anyway. But yeah, and usually we'll end up combining them up with other stuff. So this is one of the great reasons why doing this with several people is fun and easy, and it turns into cool stuff. So let's give ourselves a couple minutes.
One.
You know
You already
your first
know
one?
it?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what you got. We need another music. Okay, this one gets calm flow.
Perfect.
Nice.
We get 12 minutes for this one, right?
12. You're right. Well, not enough time.
I'm out of sticky notes. I must be done.
Need to make you some more.
I can do that.
Okay. All right. Let's get these kind of set up here. We'll do some. Yeah. These are great.
I don't know how often you can group characters, but obviously you can in this one.
Yeah, for sure. It sometimes happens. Okay. Almost. All right, let's read them off. Richie, would you like to read them again?
Sure. All right. Frogville, and Vrogville. Frogville and his 5 brothers. Arangu, the Inkling Incarnate. Tadpole with legs already, with extraordinary energy skills. A Forest Trapper. The Wayfinder. Archaeologist. Egbert Skimmer, a well-known father who likes to go fast. Senny, a dragonfly person with streamers on their hat. Love the hat. Dim Dragonfly. Deeper Delilah. A baker.
Not Delilah. Delisle.
Delilah. Shadow Hunter does not have a name, just want to remove all shadow.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
One who
cool.
wants to remove all shadows. A frog raised by bugs. Slill, Sunshard, rumored to have killed their keeper. Getter Grim. Queen Bee, she's mean but also sweet. Blurt, a grumpy Sunshard who doesn't have a caregiver.
The frog raised by bugs, it's like bugs are besties, not breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a wolf raised by bunnies.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Okay. Well, we can probably group all the frog fills, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I figure if you have one, you gotta have them all.
Yes. One cannot
Yeah.
exist without the others.
Yeah. Any other groupings we want to do?
We could group some names with some jobs if we wanted to. Like we could do Dim Dragonfly as like a baker or an archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or we could apply a job to Sunny, like make Sunny a wayfinder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we like Sunny as a wayfinder? I
Yeah.
like that.
I like it.
I kind of want Deeper Delisle as the archaeologist. I feel
Love
like that
that.
would be a good mix.
Yeah.
Getter
Forest
Grim
Trapper?
is such like a harsh name for a baker, and that's what makes me love it.
What do
Best
you
meat
think?
pies in whatever the name of this place is.
Yeah. In the sun.
In the sun.
Are you okay with
Or
that,
the
Isabella?
Sun Eater.
Oh, Sun Eater's a great name for the bakery.
It is a great name for the bakery. Make a note. Make a note.
I was about to say, we need to create a landmark.
Yeah.
Sun Eater Bakery.
Should we put those together, Isabella? What do you think?
Sure.
Okay. Dim Dragonfly for the Forest Trapper, do you think? Or
Super.
yeah.
I'm okay with whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want this frog raised by bugs to be somebody.
Yeah. Maybe
Well,
all
you could have Dim Dragonfly be the frog raised by dragonflies. They just adopted the last name.
Oh my
Yeah, there you go.
That would be very confusing, and I love that.
Okay. Yep.
And Dim could still be a forest trapper. That could be a trio.
Yeah.
Are
Like
y'all okay with that?
maybe they really like to help their family, like they're the only one because they're like really big because they're actually a frog.
Yes.
Oh, we have a shadow hunter that doesn't have a name too, though. Could they be the shadow hunter instead of the forest trapper?
No, the Shadow Hunter does not have a name.
Oh, it doesn't have a name.
Mm.
Oh, my bad. I
Shadow
didn't see
hunter.
it.
No name,
Okay.
only vengeance.
No name. That's
Oh,
intentional.
Only vengeance.
Okay.
Only emo.
Only emo.
The hair flip. We don't know where this
Amazing.
frog got hair, but they have it to flip.
They still have.
It's part of their amazing hat.
Oh my god,
That's
that's
right.
so cursed.
Okay.
I love
One
the
is-
sun shard names.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Like that they're called sun shards, and that they have. I mean, we haven't talked about it in a while, but the fact that they have the
Yeah.
cantankerous personalities and
Heck yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
awesome.
Okay. Let's do some voting here. Let's do 5 votes, I think.
Yay. Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh boy.
I think we're going to have some surprises this
Yeah.
time.
These ones are all so good.
Yeah.
I think we could have just straight up skipped voting and just been like, let's go to the last one.
Five felt so luxurious, like I could just vote for everything.
Here we go.
Even with 5, this was so hard.
Oh.
Wow.
I am not surprised. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Remove that.
I am sad that that poll with legs didn't got more votes because that image is so cursed but also so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think I voted for that. I can't remember. Okay, so let's see. This is a 2. Move. Uh-oh. Here we go. That over there. That one up there. Okay. Well, this is good. So we've got Marangu, yeah. Sil. Frog Phil and his 5 brothers. And Dim Dragonfly, of course. Yes. Also, Gitter Grim and Senny made it in, so this is good.
I didn't have a way to do it, but I did think it would be an interesting thing to bring in a completely genderless creature, since we have amphibians and we have other things. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave that there.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that leaves us with goodies. In Arium Create, a goodie is really any item that is narratively relevant. It could be something as simple as a granola bar, as long as that granola bar is narratively relevant. It could be something more big and grand, but usually it's something that someone could have one of, like a car, a vehicle of some sort. It could be, um, weapons and armor fall into this category, but also, just interesting items. Maybe they're, like, we haven't talked about this much, but maybe there are ways of focusing the mentalist powers, and maybe there are some kinds of items that fall into that category, or other things. So essentially just narratively relevant stuff. That's it.
Okay.
I will set us a timer again, and then we can listen to our last type of music, chill beats. Seems like a fitting last one. And 2 minutes again.
Okay.
I don't have many ideas for this one, so maybe I'll bring it.
I got a couple.
Okay. Where are yours, Richie?
They're all up with my stickies. I'm sorry, I didn't put them down. I'm on a laptop screen. Anybody who has
I'll bring them
superpowers
down
or
for
at
you.
least a bigger screen.
That
Got
cracked
the other
me
one
up.
out.
Thank you.
I got it.
I was like, wait, we
I'm
are four
missing a whole
people.
ass color.
Yeah.
Okay. Isabella, you want to read them?
Sure. We have a dew collecting sails, the Mentalist Handbook, an ancient sun shard merger, a water compass or something to find water, a magical sun catcher. We have baked goods made out of bugs. We have the last drop, an ore, leaf collection, use it for fortune telling. Charm bracelets with little rocks that help channel elements. We have sun sigils. They mark which shard belongs to you. We have fishing rod, a headband of mental focus, a map to lily pad lane, a water collector, shadow chains, the bug marine for deep water dives, the amulet of the sun, purified water bark leather for long trips, striders, too bad they're not very smart, and dials, use it for time in sunless worlds.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. I think we can vote on these. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I don't see any to like combine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe what is the last drop?
It's whatever you want it to be.
This sounds like alcohol.
It could be.
I don't know, Em, about your thoughts, but the sun sigils might be able to merge with the dials. I saw the dials as like a watch. I was trying to think of like what that would be, but if it was something that connected you, if it was a device or something that connected you to your sun, that would make sense to me.
That totally makes sense because then they could like sit over your sigil and like tell the time as well.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I'm okay with that. Will's like, well, just unselect that one at the bottom, Will, and I'll bring it over. If you can. If that's easy.
No.
No!
I have to do them all. It's
Oh,
fine.
I'm sorry,
so
Will. Oh
sorry.
my goodness.
Well, he's furious, guys. He might never forgive us.
I know.
I'm
I was
good.
about to say, wait. I want to merge another one real quick. Just hold. No, just kidding.
Would you like to? Are you sure? Are you sure, Richie?
I'm
Really
sure.
Okay.
This is my last get. What do they call it?
I was trying to do
final
my
choice.
dungeon master voice there, or my GM voice. Are you sure?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, is that what
Is that what you want to do?
You
Yeah.
all want to
Really
walk on the
wanna
bridge
do
at
it.
the same time?
Interesting. You want to merge another 2 items. I see. Let's see how that goes.
Not
Okay.
even a little bit menacing.
All right, let's do 6 votes.
All right.
All right.
Luxurious indeed.
All right. Let's see it.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's
Very
really interesting.
I know.
Sometimes this happens. I like it. All right, so we have a lot of 1s. And we have a lot of 2s. And 1 4.
Do you want to keep the 2s, Will?
I think we should keep the 2s. We may come back to some of these 1s too, so I like a couple of them. So we actually, every character in Vi receives a special item of some sort. And we usually there are 4 of them per realm. And so a character could have one of 4, and we our default way of choosing them is random. So they might end up with a random interesting item. And they very frequently come from these ideas. So I think there's some really cool concepts here. We can have a lot of fun with this. This is great.
We're going to do a lot of cool stuff. I'm so
We-
excited. I know that at the end of every one, I'm like, this is my new favorite realm. But
I
this is
know.
really my new favorite realm.
Yes. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So, yeah, here we are. We did it. We made a whole realm around the sun. This is good stuff. I'm excited. So, yeah, this will give Isabella some fodder for ideas for a card. We'll talk about that a little bit more off stream, but this is looking great. I'm really excited. I think we're past 2 hours, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's do a quick let's see. I think everybody's socials and stuff are linked in the notes on YouTube, so I don't think we need to stop and go through everybody's stuff. We did intros in the beginning. Go back and watch the beginning if you didn't watch that. And thank you so much to our guests, Isabella Duffles and Richie Franklin. This was so cool. This was, I would have never dreamed this up without, your input. And I think, hopefully you agree, right? This is very creative and very, very out of the ordinary from what we've done so far. So love it.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your creativity. Thank you for all these amazing ideas. This one is standing out from the crowd for me.
Yeah, definitely.
This was a blast.
Right, well,
thank you for running it. And it's a tribute to the power of Arium. This was really, really, really fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Well, let's do it's a tradition around here to awkwardly wave until the stream actually ends. So if you'd like to awkwardly wave until the stream ends, bye.
Thank you for having us here.